Good day and welcome to Mission Control Houston. Today is Tuesday, November the 5th, 2013, and this is Space Station Live. Here in the Mission Control Center, the team is being led by Flight Director Scott Stover, and Hal Getzelman is talking with the Expedition 37 crew aboard the International Space Station, making sure that everyone is on the same page for the research and activities, getting ready for the arrival of three new crewmates of Expedition 38 on Thursday, as well as a spacewalk coming up on Saturday. On orbit right now are Kara Nyberg and Mike Hopkins of NASA, along with the commander Fyodor Yurchikhin and two other Russians, Sergei Ryazanskiy and Oleg Kotov, as well as European Space Agency astronaut Luca Parmitano. Getting ready to head up to the International Space Station this week are Mikhail Turin of the Roscosmos, as well as NASA's Rick Mastracchio and the Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency's Koichi Wakata. Today, Mike Hopkins is working on monthly and annual maintenance on the Combined Operational Load-Bearing Treadmill System, known short for as Colbert. This is part of the ISTAR project, which is short for ISS as Testbed for Analog Research, and that's the idea behind that is for crew members to perform procedures without any input from the ground. This is expected to simulate the effects of long time delays for future long-duration missions to asteroids or Mars or other destinations in the solar system where they won't be able to have up-to-the-minute help from mission control. Hopkins also spent some time today working on the in-space experiment, which studies particle dynamics of fluids that change properties in response to magnetic fields. Karen Nyberg, meanwhile, is performing or getting ready to perform some experiments with the Spheres experiment, which stands for synchronized position, hold, and the experiment is used to look at how very small bowling ball sized satellites can interact with one another and essentially hold position relative to one another. Yesterday, Mike Hopkins did a lot of work with the Spheres Rings experiment, which is designed to look at even the potential for doing power transfers without cables using these satellites. Today, Nyberg's use of the experiment is going to work on how human-machine interaction works. And they're going to be doing analysis of time delays between the space station and the ground, and the 3 and 6 degrees of freedom operations for the Cirrus satellites aboard the space station and on the ground, and also using some augmented reality tools to visualize the motions of the satellites as they attempt to follow the crew member. Nyberg also did some remote guide eye exams on Luca Parmitano today, and Parmitano, meanwhile, is working to repair a guiding rail on the Biolab microscope cassette, switching out test samples in the materials science laboratory, and preparing, along with Nyberg and Yurchikhin, for the departure on Sunday. Yurchikhin, of course, is packing items away in the Soyuz, along with cargo that's going to be returned to Earth, as well as personal items for the crew members in preparation for their upcoming departure on Sunday. Oleg Kotov and Sergei Ryazanskiy are preparing for their Saturday spacewalk, trying on the Orlan spacesuits that they'll wear and performing leak checks and systems checkouts on them. Yesterday, they moved them into the Pirs airlock, which will be their exit and re-entry point for the spacewalk on Saturday. Meanwhile, in Kazakhstan, the Soyuz that'll carry Rick Mastracchio, Koichi Wakata, and Mikhail Turin rolled out from the vehicle assembly building to the launch pad for vertical installation on the launch pad. In addition to viewing the rollout, the crew out in Kazakhstan will have some time to spend with their families and make final preparations for their launch at 10:14 p.m. Central Time. Tomorrow, that is 10:14 a.m. Baikonur time. Here we're seeing a video that was recorded of the rollout earlier today. A lot of activities coming up in support of the Expedition 38 Soyuz launch and docking on NASA television. We'll start our launch coverage at 9:15 p.m. tomorrow, Wednesday, November 6th, and expect to launch at 10:14 p.m. Central Time. On Thursday, we'll have Soyuz docking coverage in the wee hours beginning at 3:45 a.m., along with docking, which is anticipated at 4:31 a.m. Central Time. Our Soyuz hatch opening coverage begins at 6:15 a.m., and the doorway between the Soyuz and the space station expected to swing open at 6:40 a.m. Central. And then we'll have Expedition 38 docking and hatch opening video file at 8 a.m. Central Time on Thursday. Otherwise, all systems working very well aboard the International Space Station in support of continuing research as the space station nears its 15th anniversary of the first Element launch, which is coming up in a little bit more than 14 days and 14 hours. This is Mission Control Houston.